Are you in the middle of class and you're having audio problems and your students can't hear you? Don't panic. We got some easy solutions that will get this problem solved. There's a few things you can do before the class even starts to get yourself prepped so that you have some fallback options. First, I'm going to go over to both Google Hangouts and in Zoom and show you where the settings are so that you can quickly adjust how your audio is working in these programs. So let's go over to Google Meet first. Here I am in a Google meeting, and you can see I can mute my microphone to mute my mic so the students can't hear me, or I turn it back on. So obviously, one of the first problems is we've left our mic accidentally muted. Second thing we can do is look at the settings inside the program. Now I can, before I even launch my Google Meet, I can see the settings right here, and I get this pop-up window where I get my audio settings. If I'm in the Google meeting, I get this similar style pop-up. I can click these three dots over here and launch the settings, and I will get the exact same menu of options where I can choose my microphone. And you see this little lines I see here as an equalizer. It's a great indicator that my voice is being received. So I can choose here different audio devices. Now, one common problem is that the internal laptop mic on your computer will be selected, and the audio quality for that is not nearly as good as either a dedicated external mic or a headset. Google Meet also has a noise cancellation feature, and that's awesome if there's background noise in the room, if there's a fan, if there's a microwave, if there's a refrigerator hum, or a plane flying overhead and you have an F-35 flying over your head. This is a great solution for that. It may be the source of problems, so it's one thing to pay attention to. But for most people, I would say you probably can leave it on and it will be just fine. Okay, so obviously I can choose a different microphone here. Let's look at how that looks in Zoom. Zoom makes it easy to get to those settings really fast. Again, in Zoom, you choose the microphone and video source almost after you join the meeting. It's almost easier. So here I can mute and unmute my microphone, but I can click these three dots and select which microphone is being used as well as which speaker. Now, to be aware, if you choose, as I have chosen here, an external microphone and I'm using the built-in speaker, there's the chance that the sound from that the students are saying will loop back into the microphone, and that can create a little bit of a feedback delay loop that could be a problem. So sometimes that won't work. If it's a problem, then you can switch to a headset. Again, same issue where the laptop mic might be the default, and you need to make sure the right mic is chosen. So one thing that Zoom has that's nice is they have a good test feature before you even join the meeting where you can kind of see those options. And the way we can go to that is by going to Zoom Preferences and choosing Audio. And you see I have the input levels, and I have a level indicator over here, as well as the ability to test my mic. And if I choose that, it will hear what I say and then say it back to me on a delay, so I can hear what I sound like through Zoom, which can be really handy. As well as they have a suppressed background noise feature too, and you can choose the level or simply leave it at auto. So if it's causing problems, great, but if you do have a background noise, you have background hum, planes flying overhead and whatnot, you may need to set that to high. I've generally always left this at auto and found it works pretty well. They do recommend that if you're sending music, right, over your connection, that you may need to optimize it for music. Okay, so there are some tricks where you care about audio that isn't your own audio, but the audio from the computer. So when you're sharing your screen, can the other people on the other end watch a video or hear your audio? So in Zoom, if I choose Share My Screen, I will get a pop-up here. And at the bottom, and it's easy to miss these settings, I need to optimize the screen share for video clip if I'm going to share my video. Now when I select that, it automatically selects Share Computer Sound as well. It can be handy actually occasionally to unclick that play a YouTube and talk over top of it to your students. There might be a reason for that. But if you want to be able to have the students hear the sound, you need to click this. Otherwise, they won't hear it in that YouTube that's playing. And you also need this checkbox clip checked, or the YouTube video or whatever video you're playing will appear extremely choppy for your students. Now, let me come out of here for a second and go back to Google Meet. So in Google Meet, very similar, I can use Present Now to present. And they include in small print here that a tab in Chrome is best for video and animation. So what I can do is I can share a tab, and I'll get a list of tabs. I can choose the tab that I want to share. And I'm going to share this Don't Panic image. And if I was sharing a YouTube, because I'm sharing a native Chrome tab, it will stream really well for my students coming from Google Meet. Now, this trick only works if you are running Google Chrome and if what you want to play as a video is in Chrome, right? Otherwise, it's not a great solution. But with that said, it works really nice. So, and you can embed a video in a Google slideshow, so you can have a Google slideshow that you're sharing with your students, have videos embedded in there and play them. The key is to use the Share a Chrome tab option from within Google Meet and not a window or the entire screen. Okay, so what can you do before you run into problems, or if you do have some significant problems? Well, one of the things that I would suggest is to have a backup. And one of the best backups you can have is something else that you can plug into your computer. So I currently am using an external microphone, but I also have a USB headset. And so that USB headset is my backup solution if I have a problem with my microphone. Now, not everyone has the luxury of that, but a lot of people have one of these sets of earbuds that came with your smartphone at one point. And you may have the old kind from an iPhone or Android where the bottom is a headphone jack. And that headphone jack is, if you notice, there will be 4 rings around it. If you have a laptop, most of the laptops, you can plug it directly in and it will work as both microphone and headset. And that's a great backup option, plus it's pocketable. And the great thing about this is it isolates the sound. The sound coming out of the computer is going straight in your ear. It can't loop back. And you have effectively a lavalier mic that is hanging right next to you to pick up the sound. So it's a great option. If you look at the side of your computer and you have 2 jacks, headphone and microphone, and they're separate, then you won't be able to use this style solution without an adapter. Now, the other key thing to have as a backup, and probably one of the most important things, is keep your smartphone around when you're teaching class. Remember to mute it, right, on the side so it doesn't ring during class, but this is really useful backup feature. Install on your smartphone Zoom and Google Meet from the app stores, because this is your backup. Let's say your laptop dies. You can still run class in an emergency off of this, and at least you're not leaving the students hanging. But one of the things you can do in both Google Meet and in Zoom is you can call in settings for the session. So here's my settings down here in Google Meet. It'll be on the left-hand side. If I click this arrow, I'll get the details. And you see there will be a dial-in number. You can dial into that number, right, even from your phone. And then what you'll do is you'll simply mute the mic, not use the audio in Meet, but connect via your phone for audio. And you can do that without an internet connection. You could even use a traditional landline phone in a pinch and call in with, using that. When you connect to Google Meet, you can choose that connection so that you'll have that as an option. Okay, let's come on over to Zoom, and you have those same features in Zoom. So if I invite more participants, I will see the contact information, and I can copy the invitation that would go out to people. And that invitation includes all the information that I need. So if I simply look at that And to do that, I'm going to paste it in a Word doc so that you can see what it looks like. That has a phone number to call in. And you can use that phone number as a call in rather than using the audio via your voice. I've taken the invite information from Zoom and pasted it into Microsoft Word here. So most people are simply using this link to connect, but you also have these mobile numbers to call into, right? And so you can call and connect the same as you can do in Meet, in Google Meet. You can also do in Zoom, so that the phone routes your audio. Your audio is routed through the phone instead of through your computer, and that's a great backup option to keep in your pocket. So that's one reason why I always leave my cell phone sitting on the same table when I'm teaching class. So I have a couple ways in which I could use that potentially as a backup in case I'm having audio problems.
The last tip I would leave you with is to simply ask students, how do I sound? Do a mic check at the beginning of class so that each of your students can also introduce themselves, maybe ask a question from the reading, and you go around the whole class and you make sure that they have working mics as well. It's a great way of solving problems right up front. If you're doing a screen share sometime during the class, you may want to check in with your students, make sure that they're all seeing the screen. Often we'll forget to screen share and be presenting and realize a ways in that the students aren't aware of what's going on. Creating a culture like that makes it comfortable for students to pop in and let you know that maybe they're not hearing you clearly so that you can correct things. Hope those tips help. If you have problems with your mic, please contact Champ Support or the CLT for support.